listing presentation scripts. This is a great. There's a website called the realestatetrainer.com. This is a great. There's a website called the realestatetrainer.com. This website is an incredible resource for materials. This website is an incredible resource for materials. Anything real estate. Scripts. Brian Eisenhower. I'll give you a copy of this. Anything real estate. Brian Eisenhower. I'll give you a copy of this. I used this yesterday. It's called a needs analysis. I used this yesterday for realtors. I was going to go into the listing script. It's called a needs analysis script. This is a needs analysis. I was going to go into the listing script, but I'm going to the. This is a needs analysis script for realtors. The first step in conducting. The first step. Needs analysis requires you to learn the pleasure. A needs analysis requires you to learn of your clients. The pleasure. What's the pleasure? Why? What's the pleasure? What are they going to get out of it moving to a new home? What's the pleasure? Why? What's the pleasure? What are they going to get out of it moving to a new home? Moving out of their home, selling their home. Were they moving for more living space to be closer to family, or to get out? Were they moving for more living space to be closer to family, or to get out? Get into a better school district from a place of curiosity. Agents must come. You want to learn from a place of curiosity. You want to learn. I told you I had a woman. Who I know told you I had was interested a woman in having. She had a. Who I know through ceramics. It was about $5 million building. Having, she, on the list she had a Santa Monica 10-unit, about a $5 million building. And I said, you know, I'd love to meet with you, Santa Monica. And she said, oh. And I said, you know, I'd love to meet with you. My building. And she said, I said, no, let's meet at. All right, I'll see you at my building. She said, oh, I don't know coffee. I said, no, let's meet at. Showing that I know the neighborhood, whatever. Oh, it's a great little spot. Let's meet there. We meet there. Showing that I know the neighborhood, whatever. Oh, it's a great little spot. Let's meet there. We meet there. She has her little bag. We sit down at the table. She has her little bag. She pulls out. We sit down at the table. Presentations about an inch thick. She pulls out 3 listing presentations about an inch thick. What are you going to tell me about my property that I don't know? What are you going to tell me about my property that I don't know? I took listing presentations. I shoved them aside. I took listing presentations. I want to know about you. I shoved them aside, and I said nothing. What's going on? I want to know about you. What's going on with you? Because I cared about her. She said, nobody's asked about what I want to do. Because I cared about her. She said, nobody's asked about what I want to do. I'm interested in selling. I want to move to Hawaii, and I'm thinking about this. I'm interested in selling. I want to move to Hawaii. What are you going to do with the money? Thinking about this, and my kids are getting older. And well, someone was saying I should buy a strip mall in Phoenix. I was like, what do you know? Someone was saying I should buy a strip mall in Phoenix. What do you like being a landlord? We had that's not the nothing. That's how the conversation goes. We had turned out we found an alternative for her to keep. That's how the conversation goes to Hawaii. Turned out we found an alternative for her to keep the building, get a place in Hawaii. That's what we did. It was the best thing. But that's what you need to know. What's the pleasure in this? In order, but that's what you need to know. What's the pleasure in full motivation? You got to know why they're doing this to unlock and get them to express their experience, why they're doing what they want to do, because and get them to express their experience and what they want to do, because people cannot say no. You want to overload them with your value proposition. Look, value propositions. You want to overload them with your value proposition for you to know. Value propositions we talk about are very important. Very important for you to know exactly what you offer. But you don't want to dump a bunch of malarkey to people like, oh, this is my marketing. But you don't want to dump a bunch of malarkey to people like, oh, this is my marketing. You need to have tights. Me. But you got to know. You need to have going on with them. Ask them what their goals are. But you got to know what's the emotional. Ask them what their goals are. Feeling how. What's the emotional? We talked about this in branding. Feeling and response. Have a Coke and a feeling. We've talked about this in branding. What do they feel? You know, have a Coke and a smile. Having Sparky jump through the dog door to go out to that. What's it like having Sparky jump through the dog door to go out to that nice grandkids home for Thanksgiving? What's the feeling of having all your what's the feeling home for Thanksgiving and having that nice big dining room? What's the once you have that, step 2 in the needs analysis is what's the pain? Once you have that, step 2 in the needs analysis is what's the pain? What's the pain? You got the pleasure. What happens if you're unable to move because you're unable to make the what happens if you're unable to repairs because you're unable to make the necessary repairs? You don't do that to get the home price accordingly. Many agents learn why their clients want to move, but few ask the clients. Many agents learn why their clients want to move, but few ask the clients. A path of discovery is necessary to determine what pain will result. A path of discovery is necessary to determine what pain will result. From failure to take specific actions. Understand that people move away from pain much more quickly. Understand that people move away from pain much more quickly. So pain is often what gets pleasure. Them to move. So pain is often what gets them to move. Right? We've talked before. You know, as human beings, we have an instinct. We've talked before. You know, as human beings, we have an instinct. We don't have an instinct to survive. We don't have an instinct to thrive. So we got to take that step, that notch. So we got to create that step, that notch. So now once create that, you know their pleasure and their pain. Now you got to weigh the action versus inaction. You know their pleasure and their pain. Now you got to weigh the action. Ask them to make a decision here. What's more important to them? The pleasure they will receive from moving, to make a decision here. Or the pain more important to them? The pleasure they will receive from moving, or the pain that will result from inaction. They will own it. Remember, if they author it, they will own it. I interviewed an agent yesterday, and he wasn't. I interviewed an agent yesterday, and he wasn't ready to join us on the fence. And he said, "So you ready to join us today?" Oh, with moving, I got to do this. And he said, "Okay." Oh, with moving, I got to do this. The pain of moving is great. It's a lot of work to do, and you have to change your sign. The pain of moving is great. It's a lot of work to do, and you have to change your sign. Are you focused on the pleasure you're going to have coming? Are you having a great? Are you focused on the pleasure you're going to have coming here and having a great commission split? Having excellent resources, the website and such. Having David, Sherry, and I to help you. Going on about all the things that are going to give him pleasure that he was not getting in his previous place. And he's like, you know what, you're right. Because I used what he said to me in the interview. It was his goals and his dreams. People need your help to get them there. So it's imperative that they have self-discovery and you help lead them to self-discovery. So a script on that would be, hey, look, remember, I work for you. And all I can do is provide you with the information and let you make an important decision. So what's more important? You saving the $10,000 price reduction to get the home sold? Or being able to move closer to your family? They told you they wanted to be closer to their family. So they're going to let a $10 price reduction get in the way? The pain of that get in the way of the pleasure of being with their kids, their grandkids? When you frame these items, the objections, the pleasure, the pain, the objections, you help create a very clear picture for them. They are able to self-discover their own denial and quickly make a choice that is in alignment with their goals. It's your job to help them see that. I'm going to talk next week probably about clients getting, they get in their own way sometimes. You need to help clear the noise. Help them realize their dreams. It's in our mission statement here. We want people to realize their desired quality of life through real estate. Goals, integrity, all those things, yes. But your quality of life is so important. Experienced real estate agents know that objections are typically just excuses for clients to avoid uncomfortable actions that stand in the way of reaching their goals. The key to this is you've got to isolate the objections. You've heard this. Weigh them down one by one against the pleasure they will receive from moving. I don't want to have to fix the roof. I don't want to have to do this. Well, what about seeing your grandkids? What about being free of your children and being able to live on the coast and live the life you've always wanted as a surfer? Whatever it is, what is their dream that they've told you? If clients express they don't want to give the home away, simply ask them, what's more important to you? Being closer to your family or not having to give the home away? The market's going to, if you do the proper marketing, which you all are skilled and talented enough to do, and have it in the free market, the market's going to determine the price. That's the reality. Repeat this with each objection and show them the basis for their inaction. And show that it's not in alignment with their reasons for moving. That's how you counter those objections.